Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Well, I guess you've heard that Donald Trump has fully banned some countries from entering the United States and restricted others from traveling to the United States, meaning their nationals cannot enter the United States under immigrant or non-immigrant visas with only narrow exceptions. The countries that are fully banned from the United States are Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, South Sudan, Syria, and Palestinian Authority travel document holders. I'm not sure what that means. I guess it just means Palestinians who, Israel have given permission to travel. Additionally, earlier proclamations already had 12 high-risk countries under full restrictions, including Afghanistan, Burma, Chad, Republic of the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, and Somalia. Somalia ends up on every list that they ever put out, but somehow they still manage to end up in this country, a bunch of them. And it's the same thing with Libya. They end up on every list too, but somehow they manage to make it into the United States. I wonder about all of these Muslim countries, why they don't want to go to the Muslim countries. They always want to come to Western countries. They want to come to Western countries and enjoy the conveniences and the privileges of Western countries, but they don't want to assimilate into Western society. It doesn't really make any sense to me. Somalis up there in Minnesota, well, I mean, I know that's why they want to stay, because they're up there scamming and stealing, allegedly. But I don't get why they don't want to go to Saudi Arabia and Dubai and United Arab Emirates and all those other Muslim countries. Indonesia, for instance. Why don't they go to Indonesia? They all want to run to the West. And then there's another group of countries with partial restrictions. These countries are not fully banned, but face limits on certain visa types. They are Angola, Antigua and Barbuda, Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, Dominica, Gabon, Gambia, Malawi, Mauritania, Nigeria. Nigeria always ends up on every list. Senegal, Tanzania, Tonga, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. And as you can see, these are mostly African countries. So Africans who come over here talking about their degrees and how hard they work, you see how much they think about that. They don't think anything about you working hard or about your degrees. What we told you from the beginning about America not wanting a lot of black people in this country still holds true. Nigeria is on every list. Nobody wants Nigerians in their country. And what's coming out about a lot of them is that they're doing a lot of scamming. They want to get to the United States so they can start scamming. And that is one of the reasons I think that the government is cracking down on them. Now, the government says that none of this is based on race or geography. They are not banning the African nations because of their race or because they're from Africa. So these are the reasons that the government is giving. Persistent and severe deficiencies in screening, vetting, and information sharing, okay, by certain governments. So they're not vetting people properly, and they're not giving the right information. They probably don't know, because somebody said that the African people don't even know when they're born because they don't have that kind of vital statistics bureau like we have in the United States. Another reason that the government gives is lack of reliable data about travelers' identities, criminal histories, or security risks, and national security and counterterrorism concerns tied to instability in some regions. And we definitely understand that. Also, foreign policy goals, including pressure on governments to improve cooperation. These are the stated reasons, not an endorsement, just reporting what the sources say. Why so many African countries are affected. Africa is disproportionately impacted by these bans because many governments do not have strong passport security systems or biometric databases. I can believe that. Some countries are experiencing conflict, coups, or weak central governments, making data sharing difficult. The U.S. review process evaluates each country individually, and many African nations failed the technical criteria. As a result, Africa has been the hardest hit by the expanded travel ban. I can believe that there are lapses in their data and that they don't have the same type of agencies, they don't have the same type of reporting that we have in the United States. We got to report for everything: when you're born, when you go to school, when you join the church, when you go to college, when you get a job, when you retire from the job, or if you change the job before you retire, when you get sick, and when you die. America has everything documented. So they just expect everybody else to have those things too. And there have been complaints by different tribal groups in Africa that you have to be from a major tribe before you can even get to the point that you could, before you can even apply for a visa. You got to be from one of the bigger tribes. You got to have money. So the system of reporting is not fair. So Donald Trump and the conservatives in the Republican Party are really afraid that America is going to turn into Western Europe, where they have so many immigrants in those countries that they change the culture and the face of the country. I just saw a report on London, and the people said London is just trash, that the immigrants have ruined London, that they've ruined Paris, and some of those European countries have really put their foot down and said, you are not coming up into this country. If you come, you're going to learn our language and you're going to assimilate into this society, or we don't want you here. Now, America is not saying it in those mean words, but that's what the Europeans are saying. We don't want you here. And Hungary is pretty bad, but Poland is bad also. Germany has gotten bad. Even the UK has gotten bad because they say those people are changing the culture of their countries, and that's what they're trying to do here. So you do have to push back. But anyway, Donald Trump has fully banned some of those African countries, and he has a partial ban on the others, which probably could be upgraded at any minute. So is it fair? I don't know. You let me know. Thank you for listening. Give me a thumbs up and have a good evening.